There are things people used to do every single day that feel almost impossible to believe now. Not big history moments. Not something from textbooks. Just normal life. The kind of things nobody questioned. Kids grew up doing them. Parents allowed them. Society accepted them. But today, if you tried the same things, you'd probably get reported, fined, or even arrested. Because the world didn't just change, it flipped completely. What was once normal is now unthinkable. Today, we're looking at everyday habits from the 1960s that are gone forever. And some of them honestly feel unreal. Number 1. Letting kids roam all day alone. In the 1960s, kids didn't stay inside glued to screens. They were outside. All day. You'd leave the house in the morning and disappear for hours. No phone. No tracking. No check-ins. Your parents didn't know exactly where you were, and they didn't need to. You rode bikes across neighborhoods, played in empty fields, climbed trees, and explored places that today would be considered dangerous. The only rule was simple. Be home before dark. And somehow, you always made it back. Today, that kind of freedom feels impossible. A child walking alone would worry people instantly. But back then it wasn't neglect. It was normal childhood. Number 2. Riding in cars without seatbelts. Seatbelts were either ignored or didn't exist in many cars. Kids bounced around in the back seat like it was a playground. Some even lay down during long trips, stretching out comfortably as the car moved. There were no safety warnings, no beeping sounds reminding you to buckle up. It felt relaxed, casual, completely normal. But accidents were far more dangerous because of it. Over time, laws changed, awareness grew, and seat belts became mandatory. Today, you can't imagine driving without one. But in the 60s, nobody thought twice. Number 3. Smoking everywhere without restrictions. There was a time when smoking was part of everyday life. Not hidden. Not restricted. Everywhere. Restaurants, offices, airplanes, even hospitals. People lit cigarettes without asking. Ashtrays were placed on every table. The air was thick with smoke, and nobody questioned it. Kids grew up breathing it in constantly. Doctors smoked. Teachers smoked. It was considered stylish, even healthy in some advertisements. But slowly the truth came out. The risks became clear. And everything changed. Today, smoking is limited and controlled. But back then, it was simply part of the environment. Number 4. Getting hit at school for discipline. If you misbehaved in school, punishment wasn't a warning. It was physical. Teachers carried paddles, rulers, or straps, and they used them. You'd be told to hold out your hand or stand in front of the class, and then came the quick. No discussion. No arguing. And once it was done, you went back to your seat like nothing happened. Parents didn't complain. Most supported it. Some even punished you again at home. It was seen as discipline. Today, this would end a teacher's career instantly. But in the 1960s, it was standard practice. Number 5. Drinking and driving without serious consequences. Back then, people didn't think twice about having drinks and then driving home. It was common. Bars were full, and afterward, people simply got into their cars and left. There were fewer laws, fewer checks, and much less awareness about the dangers. Over time, accidents and research changed public opinion. Laws became stricter. Campaigns raised awareness. Today, even a small amount of alcohol can get you into serious trouble behind the wheel. But in the 60s, it was just part of the night. Number 6. Sending kids to the store alone. If your parents needed something, they didn't go. You did. Even at a very young age. You'd be given a note, some money, and sent out alone. You walked to the shop, handed over the list, paid, and brought everything back. Shopkeepers knew your family. They trusted you. Sometimes they even gave you a small treat. It was simple and built on trust. Today, parents hesitate to let kids go out alone. But back then it was part of growing up. Number 7. No car seats for babies. Babies weren't strapped into special seats. They were held in someone's arms or placed on the seat. Mothers often held infants while the car was moving. It felt natural and caring. But in reality, it was extremely dangerous. Today, Strict laws require proper car seats for safety. Everything is tested and regulated. But in the 60s, people relied on instinct, not rules. Number 8. Playing with dangerous toys like lawn darts. Toys in the 1960s were not always safe. Some were actually dangerous. Lawn darts were one example. Heavy metal darts with sharp tips, thrown into the air toward a target. If they missed, they could hit someone. And sometimes they did. Injuries happened. Over time, these toys were banned. But back then, kids played with them freely. No warnings. No safety labels. Just fun, with real risks. Number 9. Riding bikes without helmets. Helmets were not part of childhood. You grabbed your bike, jumped on, and rode as fast as you could. No protection, no safety gear, no fear. Kids raced down hills, skidded across dirt roads, and sometimes crashed hard. Scraped knees and bruises were expected. Nobody stopped riding because of it. It was just part of growing up. Today, helmets are strongly recommended and often required. Parents insist on safety first. But back then, it was all about freedom, not protection. Number 10. Hitchhiking without fear. If you needed a ride, you simply stuck out your thumb. Hitchhiking was common. Teenagers, travelers, even everyday people used it. You trusted strangers enough to get into their car, and drivers trusted you enough to pick you up. It was normal. People didn't think twice about it. But over time, stories of crime and danger changed everything. Today, hitchhiking is rare and considered unsafe. But in the 60s, it was just another way to travel. Number 11. Burning trash in the backyard. Trash disposal was simple. You burned it. People had barrels or pits where they threw their waste and set it on fire. Paper, packaging, sometimes even harmful materials. Smoke filled the air, drifting through neighborhoods. Nobody thought much about pollution or health risks. It was easy and convenient. Today, this would break environmental laws in many places. Air quality matters now. But back then, it was just part of everyday life. Number 12. No strict food safety rules. Food wasn't controlled the way it is today. Meat could sit out longer. Milk wasn't always stored properly. There were no clear expiration dates printed on everything. People relied on their senses. If it smelled fine, it was fine. Shops didn't follow strict regulations either. You trusted the seller. You trusted your judgment. Today, food safety is heavily regulated. Labels, inspections, storage rules. Everything is monitored. But in the 60s, it was simpler and far less controlled. Number 13. Kids playing in dangerous construction sites. An empty construction site wasn't off-limits. It was an adventure. Kids climbed unfinished buildings, balanced on wooden beams, and explored places filled with tools and materials. There were no fences, no warning signs, no security guards. It felt exciting, even thrilling. But it was also dangerous. Today, construction sites are locked down and secured. Laws changed everything. But back then, it was just another playground. Number 14. Opening the door to anyone. A knock on the door didn't create fear. You simply opened it. It didn't matter who was outside. A salesman, a stranger, someone asking for directions. People trusted more easily. Doors were often left unlocked. Conversations happened face to face without suspicion. Today, things are different. Security cameras, locked doors, hesitation. People think twice before answering. But in the 60s, trust came naturally. Number 15. Leaving kids home alone for hours. Parents didn't always have the option to stay home. Work had to be done. And sometimes that meant kids stayed home alone. Not for a few minutes, but for hours. Older siblings looked after the younger ones. Simple instructions were given, and that was it. Kids learned responsibility early. They managed on their own. Today, laws and social expectations have changed. Leaving children alone can lead to serious consequences. But back then, it was part of everyday life. As you look back at all of this, it's easy to judge it through today's standards. To call it dangerous, careless, even shocking. And maybe it was. But it was also real. It was a time when life wasn't controlled by constant rules and warnings. People relied more on instinct, on trust, on experience. The truth is, we gained safety. We gained awareness. We gained protection. But somewhere along the way, we lost something too. Freedom, independence, and that raw, unfiltered way of living. Thanks for watching. If this made you think or brought back that old school feeling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more stories like this. And tell me in the comments, which one of these feels the most unbelievable to you today?